Melinda here with Get Off My Lawn, Please. Today is reading out of Vickie Wednesday. And for those of you that are new here, my husband's the author, Mike Sims. He's given me permission to read out of this book, and so there's no copyright issue. But today we're going to start our reading, starting at chapter, It Is for the Better. The police arrested Derek for the shooting, but he was given probation for the homicide. No one told authorities what was the cause for Tom's rage, so it was ruled an alcoholic rage. Derek was clear of the shooting, but police had found a legal prescription in his home that he often used for date rape drugging. Derek had to sign the home to Mary, and they had nothing to do with each other from then on. Tom's funeral was simple, as there was nothing left for Mary and Vickie to live on. Mary worked at a nursing home to make ends meet, but they were tighter than when Tom was alive. Vickie had grown scared at the prospect of raising a child, and especially one from her cousin. The only thing she could think of is the rape every time she sees her belly getting bigger. Mary has convinced her to give the baby up for adoption. Vickie feels like she has no choice because without her mom's support, it would not be possible to raise this child. She feels trapped and alone in the world. Her depression causes her to cut on herself and sometimes seems distant. She sees different people to help her, but nothing seems to clear the fog of her mind. She just seems to go with whatever people tell her to do. It is not hard for authorities to agree that the child needs to leave that environment. Vickie's day comes to deliver the child, and after its birth, she is only given a few seconds to see her little girl. Vickie cries as they take the little girl away, as she has already been adopted before she was born. Vickie feels dead inside, lost and unworthy. She is told it was all for the better, but that does not beguile the feelings she feels about herself. Her only oasis is schoolwork. She seems to excel even better than before. There is a focus that she uses to bury herself into her work. She was already on the honor roll, but is doing better than most. Vickie has now turned 17 and has no plans for the future. She has become an empty shell, quiet and retracted. She is sent to a crisis prevention psychologist because of the fear that she will kill herself. It is believed this response was from an apparent cry for help as she was cutting on her arms. She sits in a chair next to Dr. Smith, just staring at the ground with shoulders slumped. Smith: Vickie! Vickie! Vickie looks in his general direction. What? Vickie, we need to get you out of your shell and talk about everything that has happened. Let's start with the cutting on your arms. Why do you feel the need to do that? Vickie looks at the scars on her arms, those healing from past wounds and those recent. I don't know. You don't know why? Vickie turns her arm around. No. However, what fascinates me is that I don't feel pain when cutting them. You don't feel pain? I mean, I feel the pain, but it does not hurt as much as you would think. It does not bother me. That is so odd. The reason you don't feel pain as much is because the trauma of the recent events have caused so much emotional pain, your mind has numbed itself to the pain. That numbness transposes to physical pain too. You're aware of it, but you can handle it. Physical pain and emotional pain are all in your brain and can be controlled the same way. You're saying that my mind is blocking something really painful? Yes, that is correct. Vickie sits up a little. Then will it wear off? That is correct. Your trauma pain will diminish as the strength in the memory diminishes. Then your mind will release you to deal with it full force. Some people develop blocked memories as if the trauma never happened. Others pain control. Then how do any of us know what we see, hear, or know is real if our brains can manipulate our perception like that? Smith smiles. You are a very bright young lady. It happens all the time. If you videotape your life at one point and watch the video for years later, you will find your memory of it quite a bit different. It grows quiet for a minute when Smith observes Vickie's expressions to determine what she's feeling. I have dreams that bother me. Tell me about them. Last night, I dreamed that I was in jail for killing someone. Who did you kill? I don't know, but it was someone who was harming someone I cared about. They were hurting them and I had to stop them, but I was considered wrong in stopping them. How did that make you feel, being blamed for helping them? It made me upset that life judged me as guilty of doing something that was right. You feel killing someone is justified if you're protecting others? Wouldn't you? This is not about me. Yes, but I really was not trying to kill them, but just stop them. It was horrible. I was stuck in that jail for the rest of my life. Losing your freedom scares you? Yes, not being in control of my life. I don't want to live without being in control. Do you feel that way because of the rape and losing your child? Vickie turns and just stares at the wall. Vickie, okay, why don't we talk about something else? Vickie just stares away. I'm told you want to be an astronomer. Vickie turns, not anymore. Why not? That serves me no purpose anymore. What was about it that you liked? Vickie turns to Smith. Let me ask you a question. Okay. Why did you become a psychologist? I wanted to help people. Really? I think people originally pursue occupations because they are looking for answers. Interesting. And what answers do you think I was looking for? Excuse me. Vickie stares for a bit as Dr. Smith sits with a smug look on his face. I think you wanted to know why you were so screwed up. Smith's face moves to concern as Vickie continues. Am I hitting close to the target? Why would anyone learn psychology unless they wanted to know what is wrong with themselves? Don't be so judgmental. Some of us enjoy understanding our fellow man. Then is it about the power for you? It's about helping people. I think that is what you tell yourself, but not the motivation. The room is quiet for a few minutes while they stare at each other. Smith, I think we have made some progress today. We will continue this tomorrow. I want you to think about how to talk about the recent past events. Vickie responds, I want you to think about what we talked about today. Let's see if the reason you became a psychologist is still an issue. Vickie stands up as Smith slowly stands up. Vickie looks at him and leaves to the lobby where her mom awaits. That night, Smith calls Mary to discuss the first meeting. Mary, do you think you can help her, doctor? Smith, I think so. She's different in many ways than what I'm used to. She has a need to dominate other people, so I'm letting her analyze me and do what she feels is getting to me in order to draw her out. Why does she cut on herself? We address that. This is a stress disorder manifesting itself in a way superficially. It is a cry for help. She's not going to kill herself, is she? No, she just needs to let something out, and it is really hurting her. Mrs. Newsom, are you okay? I don't know. It's all been so confusing and horrible. Sometimes I feel Vickie has a better handle on some of this than I do, strange as that sounds. Not at all. Young people tend to repair themselves much quicker than older people. We tend to make things more complex as we get older. She is a strong girl. I look forward to our appointment tomorrow. Thank you, doctor. We will be there tomorrow. They hang up as Mary looks at Vickie staring at a chessboard. Mary thinks, I wish I knew how to help her. The next day at Smith's office, Vickie has returned for her next session. They sit quietly for a few minutes when Vickie opens up. Did you figure out why you got into mind medicine? Smith, afraid I'm still working on that one. However, we can talk about the recent events. Can we talk about the recent events? Sure, why not? Okay, what do you think about most often? Vickie looks around a bit, kicks her heel repeatedly on the floor. Perhaps your dad? That alcoholic? I don't think so. He's your dad, though. He's a drinker and abuser, that is all. Because of him, we were always poor and had to move to the charity of others. Alcohol is a wheel that controls all the other wheels in the family machine. It will not control my machine anymore. Yes, but that leaves a void which you need to fill with, what do you suppose? Hate. Is that what you want me to say? You're a bright young lady, more learned and gifted than most your age. Don't let your good intellect keep you from feeling what you need to express. Our emotions are the same no matter what age we are. You even hear the phrase that impression with expression leads to depression. I like to think that a train can't move unless it's under a lot of steam pressure, Smith says. Fascinating, Vickie, and I suppose you were the train? I understand that I must be in control of my life. That is good, nothing wrong with it. But too much pressure can explode. Think of cutting yourself as a crack in the engine. You need to let off some of that steam. Vickie looks down. Is that why you're humoring me about why you got into this profession? Humoring you? What do you mean? I tried to get to you and throw you off from analyzing me. Instead of stopping me, you use that to figure out more about me. I know what you're doing. I'm not fooled. No, you're not. You're a good man. I like you. To answer your question, I think about my baby the most. Yes, Vickie, that is very hard. I can help you. Help me to understand why I let it happen? You were in emotional shock and unable to reason what to do. Your mother was your refuge and has always been. She was there to protect you, and you obeyed her will. Was she right in what she made me do? I'm not going to apply blame or justify anything. My job is to help you categorize it in your mind so you can deal with it properly. After that, you can determine what is right or wrong. No one will control me anymore. Don't mistake control for help. I have done that already. Alcohol controlled your dad, didn't it? Vickie stops motionless and slowly moves her head to the ground. I'm sorry, Vickie. Must we talk about him? Yes. He was a weak man. I will never be involved with a man that drinks. Time runs out as Smith says, Vickie, I think we're making real progress and extremely fast. You are just very good at what you do, I guess. No, you are a very strong lady and smart. The answers are already figured out in you, I think. It is only the emotions we need to get straight. Vickie goes to the door. Thank you. Smith smiles. You're welcome. Vickie smiles, leaving, but with concerned thoughts running in her head. She spends the night sorting out things in her head. Like a puzzle putting itself together in her head is seeing the big picture. The next day, Vickie arrives for another session with Dr. Smith. Smith, Vickie, I have a surprise for you. Vickie, what is it? Smith hands Vickie a book about Smith hands Vickie a book that is about psychology. Vickie receives it, briefly looks at the print date and a few of the first pages as Smith smiles on. Thank you. You're welcome. How are you feeling today? Actually, I'm feeling better. I've been thinking a lot about my dad. What have you decided? I have decided that I will control my life. I will obtain those things in life, like money that will help me control things. I understand the motivation, but you should know that money and position are not really control. It is an illusion of control, as you will always be governed by people that have a stake in things, whether it is the government or investors. Someone always controls the game and lets you control the smart parts. Understand? The small parts. Understand? I understand it very well now. It is clear what I must do. What must you do? I must be the one that controls the game. That is quite a feat. How do you plan to get there? Understand what another understands, know what others know, have others believe what I tell them. Smith looks astonished. Wow, how old are you? Age is not important, only the realization of what is out there. You are a bright young lady. Do not burn yourself out. My dad was an alcoholic and abuser, but he loved me. I loved him but hated his life. My mother is a victim and loved me. I love her but despair her weakness. My cousin raped me, but he helped me get through a lot of years. I thought of him as a father I did not have, but his kind will never hurt me again. I have arrived in my understanding that life is hard. I will strengthen myself and I will control what I possibly can. That is an impressive statement. Well, I think I no longer need these sessions anymore. Really? Why do you think that? Your present to me tells me that. Oh, this book is what brought you into psychology, right? I mean, you worked out your issues with the help of this book and decided to go into this work to help others. Smith raises an eyebrow. How did you figure this out? Am I right? Of matter of fact, you are. That book brought me out of a dark time. I thought it might help you do the same. It will, not by reading it, but by the fact that you just shared your whole past with me. You helped me. Inadvertently, it seems. That was your strategy from the beginning, was it not? I simply finished it for you. Smith stands up. Vickie, you are going to do great things. Remember, it is okay to feel sad once in a while. It is an emotion like happiness. Let yourself feel. Just try not to obsess on it. Anyway, I only had these 3 sessions I could do for you. May I have a few minutes with your mother? Vickie stands up and shakes Smith's hand. Of course, and thank you. Keep in touch for my sake. Vickie smiles and opens the door to motion her mom. Mary walks up as Vickie. Dr. Smith would like to converse with you. Mary smiles at Vickie, goes to the lobby, and Smith closes the door. Mary, Doctor, were you able to get her out of her shell? Smith, the shell that you speak of is not a shell of hiding, but one of metamorphosis. She is changing into something that is rare. I think what we are witnessing is the rebirth of someone new, someone that will make a huge effect on the world around her. I know it seems lofty, but I see things in her that are hard to explain. My Vickie? Smith smiles. In my professional opinion, she will be okay. She's about to channel those stressful emotions in ways that are going to rocket her to places. Okay, but should she have medication or something? No, the best medicine is to let her figure it out. Are you sure? Quite. So we're done here? Yes, we are done here. Let me know if you need anything. Mary looks confused. Okay, well, thank you, doctor. She walks to the door, keeps turning, looking confused as she opens it. As she approaches Vickie to leave, as Smith looks at Vickie and nods his head yes. Vickie smiles and leaves with her mom. Vickie seems to remain quiet and withdrawn as she understands what to do internally. She sorts away at the emotions. Vickie seems to remain quiet and withdrawn as she understands what to do, but internally she sorts away at the emotions. She is in school and one teacher takes an interest in the quiet Vickie. He's an eccentric teacher who also holds motivational classes on the side. Chip Sanders likes to storm chase, race motorcycles, and do things that mostly involve adrenaline. Chip, Vickie, can I see you after class? Vickie, yes, sir. After class, Chip sits down on the chair in front of Vickie. Chip, I know about your dad, and I'm sorry. Have you been to counseling? Yes, but I don't think counselors like my answers, except one man who seemed to help. What answers did you provide with them? What answers did you provide them with? Vickie holds her head with one arm braced on the desk. They asked how I handle people that wrong me. I told them I make them pay in ways unknown to them. Chip laughs. Yes, that would do it. What about the one who helped? He has been through some things I have. Well, that helps people in talking to people. Vickie smiles. Look, I'm a motivational speaker, not a therapist, but I have a few insights I'd like to share. Whatever. What killed the dinosaurs? Vickie sighs. A meteor. Nope, it was cold and darkness later. You see, they did not die immediately. They still had a life for a short while. It may have sucked, but they were alive for a short while. And the point? Just because the meteor lands on your world does not mean the end. You are alive, so live it. Understand? I think so. You're telling me to accept what has happened and live for today. That's right. Nothing is over yet. What do you want to be? I want to be an I'm not sure anymore. You could be an astronomer. Isn't that what you're about to say? Not anymore. Why not? That job has no power over people. Why do you need power over people? So I can control what happens to me? That kind of control is an illusion. Be careful about putting your walls up. You can barricade yourself so much you will miss the world around you. I've heard that before. I'm not interested in the world. I just want to control people and never be poor. Well, sounds like you want to be an executive of a company. Vickie looks up. Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Well, you have the brains for it. I will help you get there. I don't need help. We all need help. You can get anywhere in this world. You can't get anywhere in this world without someone helping you. Also, you can't get anywhere well without helping others. Vickie looks at him. I wished I could. You can and you must. If you help others, if you don't help others, you can never be helped. It's just the way things work. I think I understand. It's just so hard. Life is so hard. Why do some people seem to have it so easy? Everyone has problems. Some just carry it better than others. Life is 90% how you react to it. You get back what you give. It is about living after the meteors hit. Vickie gets up and starts to leave. Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Chip smiles as she leaves. As the year progresses, Vickie maintains the honor roll and has maintained a weighted grade point average of 4.7, the highest in her entire school district. Scholarships offers have come from a handful of colleges already. Vickie has her eyes set on one college that several people in corporate power have earned from, as well as politicians. She is following their path. Her vision is to be in the corporate world on track as she turns 18. Her mom seems to have slowed down and seems worn out. Vickie cares for her and starts to be focused on her needs. Mary has seemingly aged beyond her years. The toll of stress is wearing her down. One evening, her mom says to her, "Vickie, you can do anything you want in your life." "I know, Mom. I really wanted you to be an astronomer." "I know, Mom, but I can't do that anymore. I need to go in the direction I'm headed." "Vickie, I'm sorry. I should have had you keep your child and we raised it together. I wish that I could see my granddaughter." Vickie cries, "Mom, she is better off like you said." "No, Victoria, a child needs their mother. I really did not know that well till now." Vickie stands and looks out the window. "You have not called me that in years. Mom, I will be the most successful person you will ever see. I will climb the corporate ladder and make a name for myself. Nothing and no one will hold me back." Vickie turns around. "I will make you proud of me." "Mom?" Vickie walks over as her mom is staring motionless. Vickie checks for pulse, breathing, and her heart, but nothing. She immediately calls 911 as she knows she is gone. Vickie sits next to her, holding her mom's hand, crying, "Mommy." Paramedics arrive to find that Mary died of a heart attack. Again, Vickie faces another funeral and alone. Vickie is distant but focused. The tragedies of life seem to impact, but no longer have the sting as before. She has become hard like a rock. She has inherited her home, and her mom managed to carve out an insurance policy for enough money for Vickie to live on and go to college. She plans out her career path with the help of Chip. Vickie, as valedictorian, is to give a speech to her graduation. As her name is called, the students roar as many know of her plight and victory over seemingly overwhelming odds. She smiles as she approaches the podium, and teachers stand and clap. As the applause dies down, it becomes very quiet. Vickie stares out among the hundreds of students and parents. Even many other people hearing about Vickie have come to witness the person they have heard about in their small town. Vickie looks down at the podium with no speech written down. She begins to speak. "Thank you, everyone, for the warm applause. For years, I've lived in turmoil, hoping for better days. As some of you know, I have been through the loss of my parents and many other things. I have not come here to tell you how I have survived those times and managed to be on the honor roll. I could thank a number of people and even God, and I do. Instead, I would like to say that wherever this life takes me, I am thankful for every opportunity. I will take every hardship and fashion into a shield to weather the next one. I will use every experience and make it a tool to deal with all the other experiences. I will approach everyone as a friend until they prove themselves an enemy. I will stop those that mean to harm those that I care about and move anyone or anything out of my way. This I give to you as my mission, my oath, and my absolute promise." The students erupt in cheers as everyone stands and claps. Vickie smiles and looks down at the podium with a concern. She takes a deep breath and smiles to everyone, waving and leaving to her seat. The graduation ceremony continues with all the emotion to their end, as it is noticeable that Vickie is gone. She is left to her home. The weeks pass in solitude as everyone she has known from school has gone to enjoy their summer and prepare for their futures. For Vickie, it is the only preparation for the next phase of her calculated journey. Vickie prepares to leave as she has sold her old house and finishes packing and storing the last of her and her parents' possessions she has decided to keep. It all fits in her car easily. Chip helps her as he asks, "You going to miss the old home?" Vickie looks around. "No, not really. Nothing but horrible memories here. I'm going to start new. A new place, a new life, a new beginning." Chip smiles. "I'm very proud of you, Vickie. I would not have made it if it was not for you and others too. I have a feeling you would have landed on your feet anyway. It might have taken a little longer, but you're a survivor." Vickie smiles. "Well, I guess this is it. One last thought before you go. I would love it. You have been through the heat, extreme heat. That heat just tempers you, makes you stronger. That strength people will need. Don't shy away from it. It is the fire that lives within you and will consume you unless you use it correctly. Don't let it burn you up. Let it fuel you with purpose. You may make a successful motivational speaker yet. I only need to motivate one person to be successful." Chip hugs Vickie. "Take care of yourself. Thank you for everything." Chip motions to wait as he reaches in his car. He returns with the stemmed rose. Vickie looks at it and says, "It is beautiful." "Chip, it is you." Vickie smiles and gets out of the old car of her parents. Vickie smiles and gets into the old car of her parents. She drives off as Chip watches. The real education starts. First day off to college is a bright sunny day as Vickie feels like a new person with a sense of freedom. At the same time, she is a little nervous, but soon acclimates to the environment. As she drags her luggage to the dorm room, a group of guys stare at her. One guy says, "More meat for the grinder." His friend slaps him in the chest. "Hey, knock it off." Vickie looks at the friend named John Patterson and smiles. John looks like a deer in the headlights as he stares back. Time seems to slow down as he stares at the tall beauty. Vickie, with blonde long hair and piercing blue eyes. John's friend looks at both and waves his hand in front of John's face. Vickie just leaves into the dorm building, which breaks the spell John is under. He notices his friends are already leaving as he looks back at the dorm a couple of times and catches up with his friends. She reaches the dorm room and meets her roommate, Cindy Jones. The room is a single room with a bathroom and a shower attached. Each side of the room has a small beds with shelves on the wall next to them. On the opposite side of the room from the door is a window and a long shelf. Cindy has already placed some minor appliances and a microwave on it. "Cindy, are you my new roomie?" "Vickie, appears so. Vickie is my name, Vickie Newsom." "Cindy Jones, nice to meet you." They shake hands as she helps Vickie put things away. Cindy notices Vickie is a quiet person. "So where are you from?" "Himdale." "You know where that is?" "Oh yeah, passed through there once." "Really? I'm surprised. Not a terribly big place." "Well, my parents and I were exploring college campuses last year, and some guy at a gas station told us to go through Himdale to come here. Turns out the old man took us the long way around." Vickie stops and asks, "Did he have blue coveralls, dark hair?" "Yeah, that is exactly what he looks like. You've seen him?" "I remember a man who gave us directions at an old gas station. He had a dog that sat next to a rocking chair at the front of his porch." "That is him. What a coincidence." "Yeah, that is weird." "Anyway, I'm from Columbus. It was hard moving away from home. Was it for you?" "No, not really. My parents died and I simply sold everything and came here. I'm so sorry." "Don't worry. I'm good. Starting new." "I'm so glad you're here. I hear horror stories about bad roommates. My older sister already graduated college and she had a roommate that partied and was drunk half the time. I don't like alcohol. I just want to get on with this so I can move on to a career. I like to drink, but not drunk. I hope you have a little fun happen." "Not sure what fun is." Cindy walks over to Vickie and puts her arm around her. "I will show you." Vickie smiles. "Okay." They finish putting clothes away. Cindy sits on the bed. What are you going for?" "Degree? I want a business degree." "Oh, math, finance. Ooh, I want to be a psychologist." "I seem to be scheduled for math, political science, economics, English, and phys ed." "I've got some of the same subjects. I guess they start us all on the basics, no matter what our degrees will be." "What are you taking for PE?" "Is there a self-defense here?" "Sure, but I'm taking bowling." "Bowling?" "Yes, bowling." Vickie smiles. "Okay." Vickie leaves to sign up for PE and sees the teacher of Shotokan Karate and Aikido, Sensei Sato Takeshi, as she hands her sign-up sheet to him. "Sado domo?" "Vickie, excuse me?" It is a basic thank you in Japanese. "Oh, domo." Sato smiles. "What are you interested in taking?" "I'm interested in self-defense. I want to learn to protect. You want to learn to protect yourself. That is important, especially on a college campus." "Really? Is there a huge problem?" "There is campus police, but they aren't everywhere all the time. You have 15,000 students at this university, full of hormone alcohol charged, just out of high school, only adults in a legal definition. What do you think?" "Sounds like I need to learn self-defense." "What about more than just self-defense?" "We teach 2 styles here, karate and aikido." "What's the difference?" "Karate is what most people are familiar with. It means empty hands, which is no weapons. It is more for punching, kicking stuff you may have seen on TV. Then there is aikido, which is based on sword movement, but without the swords. It is reactive martial arts, more of what we base our basic self-defense course off of." "How long does it take to learn these?" "How long will you live?" Vickie gives a confused look. Sato laughs. "There is no end to learning it. Your body changes over time. Your mind changes, so the learning is adaptive. But to be proficient in karate depends on how much effort you put into it. Maybe 2.5 years if you work hard. Aikido is looking at 5 years. What about belts, black belt, red belt, and so on? We have belts in karate, but not in Aikido. Belts represent ranks, and those ranks are in Aikido just like karate. Belts were introduced in karate originally and visually help motivate students. Originally, they were just the ranks. White belt through brown are called Q, which is your beginning rank, grades or ranks. It basically means young or boy. When you reach black belt, that is the rank called Dan, which means masterful or man. I want to be a Dan in both. Ambitious. Are you here for 4 years or more? Don't you have a school outside the campus? Sato smiles. Yes, I have a dojo, which is where my most serious students are. How much would it cost to learn after PE as well? It is affordable, but let's see you take it here on campus first and see if you can go farther. Besides, I don't take in everyone. Money means nothing to you. Is that a Zen thing? Money is not the issue. It is a great responsibility teaching things I know, especially to someone that has no moral restraint in hurting people. I don't plan to hurt people. If you're taking martial arts, you are planning to hurt someone, or even in self-defense. It is what manner will you understand this? A great karate master was walking down the road and was robbed at knife point. He struck the robber with the two-fist strike, crippling the robber. He felt bad about it and realized it was not worth the money and bread he was carrying. Result, now he gave the robber purpose in taking revenge. The martial art is about having power, but being confident not just in your ability to defend yourself, but when not to. As far as Zen, that is not what you think. I think I understand, do you? I will be back for my first lesson. Vickie walks a bit and turns around. Oh, and by the way, I will let Zen do its own thing. Sato smiles. When you come back, you will be coming for your second lesson. Vickie leaves back to her dorm to prepare for her schedule and read her syllabus. Vickie arrives at her math class, and Cindy sits next to her. Cindy, I hate math. Vickie, I love it. It is predictable and order. It does what it's supposed to do. Geek. Vickie smiles and pants around the room, looking at the other students, until her eye catches one guy staring at her. She recognizes him from the group of boys earlier that defended her. He smiles at Vickie as Vickie gives a half smile back. Vickie, Cindy, who is that boy behind my left shoulder, two rows up that is staring at me? Cindy, I don't know, but I've seen him before. I think, oh my God, are you really trolling for a guy? No, he just mentioned something when I first came on campus. Vickie looks back as John has moved to the row behind her. Vickie, are you going to sit behind me all the time? John, sorry, I was hoping to introduce myself. Well, you are here, John Patterson, Vickie. They shake hands as John asks, just Vickie? Good enough. Okay, that is okay. Good, and thank you for defending me earlier. No problem. Class finishes and Vickie and Cindy leave as John runs up behind them. John, hey, after the next couple of classes, would you like to hang out? Cindy, Vickie, I've got to go to my next class. See you later. Vickie, see you later, Cindy. Vickie turns to John. Look, John, I'm not looking for a boyfriend. I'm just here to learn. So am I, but it would be nice to have a companion in this learning thing. Get to your next class. Vickie smiles and walks off as John leaves her staring. John thinks, I like her. Okay, I think we're going to stop here for today because this is almost 30 minutes long. I hope you enjoyed reading that. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Get off my lawn, please. And also share my videos. There's lots of different videos. You know, as I said in my original intro video, you're going to find this and that, and there are lots of varied things on my channel. Hopefully something, will meet your fancy. But anyway, my other thing is, if you're new here, that I'm all about love and kindness, and I'm an imperfect person, so I'm still working on all this. But please try and spread love and kindness wherever you go. But I appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, comment below. I hope you all have a great day. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye.